Bigfoot fans rejoice because we got Creature from Black Lake now available from Synapse or Synapse Films. One of those is correct. And this is a classic movie, and that's a nice little image from the opening scene in the film. And this was a Bigfoot inspired feature made in 1976, and it was a huge hit. I don't know what the box office figures are, but I'm sure they're there if you can dig out the old Variety. Pretty much it rode the success of Legend of Boggy Creek. Legend of Boggy Creek cost less than 100,000 or around 100,000, and they claim it made 25 million. I don't know the figure, but I do know that the rental figures were a hair under 5 million for the re-release in 1974. Now that's a very successful re-release. And back in the Legend of Boggy Creek, it has nothing to do with Creature from Black Lake, but Legend of Boggy Creek was a fun little Bigfoot movie, even though Bigfoot's never named. It's the folk monster. Kind of ties to Legend of Boggy Creek was set in Arkansas, Texarkana, and it tapped into the old swamp monster myths of the folklore. But Bigfoot was the big thing in the early 70s, so it kind of became a Bigfoot movie. And the big benefit, so to speak, of Legend of Boggy Creek was it took place in the South. It did not take place in the Pacific Northwest. That's where the myth of Bigfoot really originated. You know, California, Vancouver, British Columbia. There was no Bigfoot running around downtown Vancouver that I know of. But you know, British Columbia, Washington State, Oregon, Northern California. And when Legend of Boggy Creek came out, it kind of snapped that paradigm that Bigfoot was a West Coast phenomenon. And as the late Mark Chavinsky told me, Mark Chavinsky was the publisher editor of Strange Magazine. I interviewed him on the radio a long time ago, and he mentioned that when Legend of Boggy Creek appeared in drive-ins throughout the United States, you know, audiences started saying, hey, you know what, if there can be a Bigfoot in Arkansas, there can be a Bigfoot in Pennsylvania and New York and Michigan and Minnesota. And that kind of led to the Bigfoot sightings all across the United States. And Legend of Boggy Creek was also supported by, or the Bigfoot myth was supported by Legend of Boggy Creek, the Sun Classics Pictures documentary, Mysterious Monsters, and what was that other movie that came out? Well, the movie was a David L. Wolper TV special on Bigfoot creatures. That did huge ratings, and that kind of spawned the Bigfoot craze, or fired it up. The Bigfoot craze was a slow burn from the late 50s with the Jerry Crew prank on the construction site with the footprints. If you read up about Bigfoot legends, you'll read about it. I prefer Chavinsky's stuff because he talks about it for what it is, as opposed to pseudoscience. He approached it from a skeptical research perspective. But the Bigfoot movies were doing pretty good, and they made money, and that led to films like this, The Creature from Black Lake, which I haven't yet spoken about. So I'm going to talk about that one in another video.